Hello, ladies and gentlemen, goblins and dwarves, and welcome to another quick, hopefully, tutorial anyway, on farming, basically, farming, farm plots. A little bit of information about the sort of things that you can plant, why you would plant them, and how to do it, essentially. As we can see, we already have a few farm plots up here, and we've got a couple on our level below. Um, 2 seconds. There we go. Move that out of the way. Cool stuff. So, the first thing that we're going to cover is that there is, as you probably may already know, that there are two types of farm plot. You have a farm plot above ground and a farm plot that is subterranean. And as obviously these are the ones that are above ground, and these are the ones that are underground. And what that it does is are two types of crops that can be. They'll either be able crops that can be grown above the ground that need sunlight, which are these ones here. So if we click on this, we can see we've got a bunch of plant seeds that we can plant for different types of things. So we've got prickleberries, blood amaranth, lesser yams, pendant amaranths, rammy, ratweed, rice, rope, rye. Loads of stuff here that we can plant, which has been collected from the surrounding area or traded for with the caravans that have been arriving. And they are generally used for food, most of them up here. If we go into our labor menu and go into the kitchen menu, you can scroll through and you will eventually start seeing some of them anyway. So we can see we've got quite a lot of food and fish, but here we go now. Ratweed, sweet pod, rye, rice, you can get strawberries as well. Loads of stuff basically, and then you can have the actual produce itself further down. And most of them you'll see have this option of to either be cooked or brewed. Some are one or the other, but then you have the occasional ones like prickleberries that are both. My personal preference, and you'll see when you by scrolling through here that if there's an option for both, what I do myself is I just forbid them from being cooked. When you cook a plant, you destroy the seeds, and so you can't grow more of that plant. When you brew, you get the seeds back. So that's what I do basically. It's my personal preference. You can do what you want. One thing that I would suggest is when you start out, let's just type plump helmets. There we are. When you start your fortress, you're going to end up with some plump helmets basically almost every single time. I would recommend anyway. And what you want to do is you want to set your plump helmets spawn, if it's not already set, and your plump helmets to restricted so they can't be cooked. You don't want to run out of plump helmet spawn, at least to start with. Once your fortress gets going a little bit more, then you can branch out a little bit and let the plump helmets be cooked. But when you're starting, I would leave this red. Anyway, so the first thing to cover is how to build a farm plot. If you go down on the bottom on the tab, you see they have the place structures and work areas that require construction materials button. So if you click that and then click the workshops tab, it's in the workshops tab under the farming. And there we have farm plot. So you click that and it's as simple as click and drag wherever you want it. If you've got things in the way, like these two bushes or the stone, the dwarves will just build around it, and like you'll end up with something more like this over on the right hand side. But once you're done, you would just click and then a dwarf will run and start setting that up. It takes a couple of seconds to do, not a problem. Let's just press play and we'll watch a dwarf come and do it. It should be done fairly quickly, normally anyway. There we go. One of our dwarves is rushing over. Boom, 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 done. So we'll quickly pause that again just in case anything happens. A fortress like this, we're probably due to be invaded, so we'll try and cut through that if possible. And then, you click and you've got 4 tabs along the top. So you've got autumn, which it is now, winter, spring, and summer. And depending on the month, some plants won't let you be planted during those months. So what we're going to do is we're going to plant some prickleberries, and now we're going to plant some blood amaranths. We'll plant some lesser yams, and then in summer we will plant. Oh, that's not. We'll plant some rope reeds because why not? And then we'll come out. And then now that we've done that, we'll press play, and we will have a little farmer come rushing upstairs, and he'll start planting the first few seeds almost as quickly as it took someone to rush upstairs to start the plant. It doesn't take very long at all normally, especially if you've got enough dwarves. Here we go. This little fella running around with a crown on his head. I don't know who he thinks he is, but he is starting to plant the seeds for us, which is what we want. There we are, one planted anyway. Maybe I only had one set of seeds for that. But that's the basics of it, the top and bottom of it. So the next thing to pay attention to is subterranean farming. So in my personal experience, above ground farming it's the extras. It's if you get some extra seeds or something and you wanna start branching out, it's more of a once you've established your fort, you can properly look at above ground farming, maybe if in any way that you want. But it's up to you. Personally, my experience says that the subterranean farming is the big one, the main one, the source of all your stuff. And there are a few types of subterranean seed that you mess with normally, and there's about 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing sweet pods because sweet pods are seasonal. There we are, sweet pods. So you can't grow them in autumn. So what cave wheat is, essentially, cave wheat, if you grow that, it is essentially just wheat underground. You get flour from it, and you can get beer from it. You have to do certain things to get them ultimately, but that's what you grow them for. You grow them to make flour, or you grow them to make beer. The next one is plump helmets, which are your primary source of, booze, really. They're your number one. Yeah, they're the creme de la creme of your fortress subterranean farm. And you can brew that for food and for dwarven wine. I only grow for wine because, as I said, I don't let my plump helmets get cooked, at least until I've got a proper farm set up and I can manage the stocks properly. But yeah, personally, it's just for the wine. The next option is your dimple cups, and your dimple cups are usable only as a dye. So just for colouring your clothes, basically. So in terms of food and drink, they are completely useless. So it's just if you have a clothing industry, that's when you would start planting your dimple cups. The next one is pigtails. And pigtails have a few options that you can use them. They can be brewed into dwarven ale. They can be processed at a farmer's workshop into thread. And they can also be, I think it's a quern. You can process them down into a slurry, and then that goes into like the paper making industry and all of that stuff. And then you have your quarry bushes. And your quarry bushes are basically just food. They are edibles, basically. They just get made into the leaves, and their leaves get put into prepared food at the kitchen. They also produce, their seeds are called rock nuts, and rock nuts can be processed down into like oil, and that oil is used to make soap instead of like the tallow fat from the kitchen. Then the other one that we didn't talk about is sweet pods, and sweet pods can be used for, well, it's in their name really, sweet. You use them for dwarven sugar, dwarven syrup, or rum. They can be brewed into rum, but other than that, they don't really get eaten. They're just used as sugar and syrup. So that's your basic breakdown of the different types of plants. And you can take with that what you will. Normally, when I'm doing mine, I'll alternate and I'll chop and change. Here you can see I've got 3 farms going at once, 4 actually, and they're just sort of all growing different things. The only one that's growing at the minute is plump helmets. But yeah, so plenty of food, plenty of plants. You can see up here. That's the sort of thing that you want. And other than that, it's fairly automated. One other thing that I would say is that when you are making your stockpiles it'll be like this, but I'll just do another one down there just to show you exactly what to do. Go to the stockpile screen, draw a new stockpile, and we'll just make it that big for just a demonstration. Just click accept, and then go to custom. What you want to do is you want to go to the food section, and you want to go down and find the seeds. That's all you want. All you want is seeds. So click seeds, and then click all. And that's it. That's all you need to do for that. So you quickly come out of that, and then you're going to click this next section, which is the barrel section, barrel icon. Click the barrel, and you'll have this set up, and the number depends on how big the stockpile is, but essentially it'll just have barrels, there'll be no bins, and there'll be no wheelbarrows. If you click the hashtag and just click 0 and then enter, that's what you want to do. You don't want any barrels in your seed stockpile. And the reason that is because when your dwarves are running around and they're putting all of your seeds in their barrels, what they tend to do is they pick up the barrel and haul it to wherever the seeds are, put the seeds in the barrel, and then haul them all the way back. Barrels are quite heavy for dwarves, and they can take quite a while to. It just slows them down, and obviously, a fort like, well, in Dwarf Fortress, as having things as smooth and efficient as possible is just, it's the absolute aim of the game. That's basically the top and bottom of it. So yeah, I think that's everything that we've covered. How to plant, how to build, how to select them, what to use, and some sort of stockpile setups. So yeah, that's it basically, guys. So I hope that's been somewhat informative anyway. And yeah, if you have any comments or anything, just let me know in the comments below. That's what the section's there for. So yeah, bye.